What drives an ordinary human being to cross that invisible line between sanity and savagery? To kill without remorse, to stare into another person's eyes and feel nothing? Inside the mind of a psycho-killer lies a storm, a collision between pain, desire, and a thirst for control that most of us could never imagine. They don't simply wake up one morning and decide to take a life. It begins much earlier, sometimes in childhood, buried beneath years of neglect, rejection, and abuse. Each wound chips away at their empathy, replacing compassion with resentment, fear with fascination. They begin to see people not as humans, but as tools, targets, or symbols of their own suffering. Many killers carry two faces. One face for the world, calm, intelligent, even charming. The other hidden in shadows, filled with rage, fantasies, and a craving for dominance. They learn to blend in, to mimic emotions they no longer feel. You'd pass them on the street and never know the darkness walking beside you. But beneath that mask, their mind is building patterns, perfecting control, rehearsing scenarios, and feeding on the thrill of what's to come. Psychologists say the difference between an average person and a killer often lies in how the brain processes empathy and fear. Most people feel guilt when they hurt others. A psycho-killer doesn't. Their amygdala, the part of the brain tied to emotion, is often underactive. It doesn't light up the same way. Pain doesn't register the same. They see fear not as something to avoid, but as something to create. Each scream, each struggle becomes part of their psychological reward. But not all killers are the same. Some are cold and calculating, planners who view murder like a game of chess. Others are impulsive, acting in blind fury when emotion overwhelms logic. Yet in both cases there's one common thread: a deep need to feel in control. Many of them experienced helplessness early in life. Killing becomes their way of taking power back, rewriting the rules that once left them broken. It's not just about ending a life. It's about proving they can. What's most unsettling is how normal they can seem. Some hold jobs, have families, even volunteer. But when they close the door behind them, their other self emerges. A self that studies suffering like art, one that feels alive only when others are dying. It's a paradox of human nature, a brain that looks human but runs on a darker code. And yet, understanding them is not about sympathy. It's about prevention. Each case studied by forensic psychologists teaches us something about how trauma and isolation can twist a mind beyond repair. It warns us how emotional detachment, untreated mental illness, and childhood abuse can grow into something monstrous if left ignored. Behind every psycho-killer is a chain of events, not excuses, but triggers. Society often looks away from the quiet child in the corner, the bullied teenager, or the isolated adult until it's too late. The warning signs were there: cruelty to animals, fascination with death, lack of remorse, manipulation, deceit. But we only see the monster once the mask finally slips. Inside the psycho-killer's mind, guilt doesn't exist, only justification. They tell themselves it's destiny, revenge, or even art. Some believe they're chosen to cleanse, others think they're avenging pain the world ignored. Their reality is self-made, built on lies they repeat until they believe them. The result? A perfect storm where morality dies and obsession takes its place. So, what can we learn by peering into such darkness? That evil rarely announces itself. It hides in plain sight, in the quiet neighbor, the co-worker, the stranger who never quite blinked right. The mind of a psycho-killer is not born overnight. It's built brick by brick, lie by lie, until it becomes its own world, a place where horror feels like home. And maybe that's the real warning. Not that monsters exist, but that under the right pressure, under enough pain, even the human mind can become one. This is Jake's Reality and Mystery, where we look deeper into what drives the darkness within us all.